بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة لأهل التقوى واليقين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين بالقاسم محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الفدا واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد فقد قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم الحسن والحسين سيد شباب أهل الجنة صلاة على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Very briefly, I'll be talking about the life of Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba alayhi salatu wasalam. An Imam whose martyrdom we last night discussed the life of the Holy Prophet and morality or akhlaq from the life of the Holy Prophet. According to many riwayat, today is also the martyrdom of Imam al-Hassan alayhi salam. We have many ahadith from the Holy Prophet about his grandsons. And the Holy Prophet says, if you ever saw aql or intellect in its full form, in a human form, then just look at my son Hassan. He is living intellect. He is the living wisdom, aql. Many people try and undermine the decision of Imam Hassan alayhi salam by saying that from childhood he was very friendly, and Imam Hussain alayhi salam from early childhood was a fighter, so therefore Imam Hussain went to Karbala for a battle and Imam Hassan signed a peace treaty. We believe that even if he was Imam Hussain alayhi salam in place of Imam Hassan, Imam Hussain would have also signed a peace treaty, and if it was Imam Hassan alayhi salam in place of Imam Hussain, Imam Hassan would also go to Karbala. The times and needs may be different, but the character and the reaction of the Imam alayhi salam will always be the same. Yes, everyone? The reaction of the Imam alayhi salam will always be the same. Why? Because they're all infallibles. They're ma'soom. And a ma'soom alayhi salam will not have, no ma'soom will have contradiction between their character. There will never be any contradiction. The Holy Prophet endorsed everything that the previous prophets did. He did not contradict anything. He did not say that they used to say this and I am going to change it. You know, he used to do tithe. He would endorse everything that the other prophets did. One of the most important aspects of the lives of infallible is that they will endorse anything that the previous people have done. Yes, everyone? So it is an extremely important aspect of the life of Imam alayhi salam, especially Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba alayhi salam, as there are many characteristics of the Imam's life that I want to talk about. One of them is that you all know he is Kareem of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. He is the most generous member of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. They're all generous, but he is the most generous. But this is not the aspect that I want to talk about. I want to talk about the aspect of his life that he signed a peace treaty. Let's see and look at the conditions. Was it a tactical move? Was it a political move? Or was it the need of the time? Sometimes you make certain decisions tactfully. Yes? Imam alayhi salam do not play dirty politics like the politicians of this world, because they're ma'soom. Their character is clean. They are of pure character. They do not play dirty politics like other politicians. Imam Ali was asked, Ya Ali, what is the ground rule for politics? He said, Kafa bil adle sa'isa. Politics, in siyasa, there is only one rule. One thing is sufficient in politics, and that is adl, justice, fairness. To be fair in politics is the genuine politics, and that is quite difficult in these days. Yes, present day politicians have no sound justice. Okay, now the voice is better, so please remove echo. I do not like echo. It is good for Quran recitation, but not for speech, especially people like me who speak fast. Now pay attention. An extremely important aspect of Imam al-Islam's life, his peace treaty that he signed with Muawiyah. Why did the Imam al-Islam sign the peace treaty? Not that he was playing a tactful game, but because the people of his time did not support him. Sometimes an Imam like Ali ibn Abi Talib sits at home, remains at home, does not confront anyone. Why? Because he does not have the support from the people, from the society. Why is the 12th Imam al-Islam not appearing today? What does he lack? Astaghfirullah. He does not lack anything. There is nothing less in the 12th Imam al-Islam. It is the society that lacks obedience, understanding, recognition of the Imam. When we become truly, fully committed to the Imam alayhi salam, we recognize him properly and we obey him, the Imam will come. He does not lack anything. He is not coming because he lacks something. The Holy Prophet did not lack anything, that he announces that he is a messenger at the age of 40. And Nabi Isa alayhi salam, in the cradle, he says, Inni Abdullah wa ja'alani nabiyya wa atani al-kitab. You know, all of those verses in Surah Maryam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that Hazrat Isa said, you know, that Inni Abdullah, I am the servant of Allah. Wa atani al-kitab, he has given me a book, wa ja'alani nabiyya, and he's made me a prophet. And he's made me blessed wherever I live. And the Holy Prophet announces that he's a messenger at the age of 40. So the Holy Prophet did not lack anything. The society lacked. What did they lack? The society lacked Ali ibn Abi Talib, who was the protector of the Holy Prophet. Okay, at the age of 10, he started protecting. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends his prophet and messenger with full protection, with message. So the Holy Prophet did not lack anything. Today, the 12th Imam does not lack anything. There isn't anything less he has. It is the society. In the time of Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba alayhi salam, the people did not obey the Imam alayhi salam. Imam Ali alayhi salam was preparing for a battle against Muawiyah before his martyrdom. So Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba alayhi salam said, because my father was telling us that we should prepare for a battle, I will take you to that battle. I will lead you to that battle. He was extremely brave. But the people betrayed him. Half the army left the Imam alayhi salam. Muawiyah had bought them off. He gave bribery and the people started saying, well, one of the problems that people found with the battles of Imam Ali alayhi salam, in the time of the Holy Prophet and other Khulafa, whenever they went to battle, they had the war booty. Yes, everyone? Mal ghanima. Yes? They would go to the battle and they would take everything from the enemies. They looted everything. Imam Ali alayhi salam did not allow that. He said, no, we are only fighting Muslims. In Jamal, fine, they are not good people, but because they say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, we cannot take things from them. Yes, everyone? That was one of the problems that people didn't like. They said, well, why not? We went to battle, now we should be able to take everything from them. He said, no, you're not allowed. In battle of Jamal, Siffin, both again. Now, Imam Hassan alayhi salam, when he prepared his army, he said, let's go to battle against Muawiyah. And half of the army left, and then the other half, Muawiyah was playing with different leaders that were the leaders in the army of Imam Hassan alayhi salam. He was trying to buy them off. I'll come to also a brief discussion on who the murderers of Imam Hussain Islam were. You know, like many times you hear on television people speaking against Shia, saying that these were Shias who killed Imam Hussain. I'll give an answer. No, they were not Shias, but I will give you a brief answer. So you have Muawiyah preparing a full army, and he tries to buy the army of Imam Hassan Islam, and he succeeds. He has success. Was it something that the Imam Astaghfirullah lacked, that the army left him? Or was it again the people? They did not truly recognize and obey the Imam alayhi salam. Like the Holy Prophet, he went to the battle of Badr and Uhud. In Uhud, many people left him and ran off. Yes? But it was when the other half of the army, Ubaidullah ibn Abbas, the younger brother of Abdullah ibn Abbas. Abbas was the uncle of the Holy Prophet and Imam Ali alayhi salam. His older son was Abdullah ibn Abbas, younger son was Ubaidullah ibn Abbas. Imam Hassan alayhi salam had made Ubaidullah ibn Abbas the army chief of his army. And again Ubaidullah ibn Abbas and many other leaders of the army left and they went on the other side. And people in the camp of Imam Hassan alayhi salam, they dragged the musalla, the Jai Namaz, from Imam Hassan alayhi salam while he was praying in his tent. So Imam Hassan alayhi salam had very tough time with his companions. Just like Imam Ali and the Holy Prophet. They all had tough time with their companions. Imam Hussain alayhi salam was special in the sense that he said, I have companions that nor did my grandfather, nor my father, nor my brother. No one had companions that I have. They used to call them back and the companions wouldn't come back. I say leave and my companions do not leave. That's how strong and firm the companions of Imam Hussain alayhi salam were. Well, very briefly, I'll forget the point. I'll continue, but the murderers of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, who were they? The king, the ruler was Yazid. No Ahl Sunnah has ever written that Yazid was a Shia. No one. None of the books of Rijal, Ilm al-Rijal, yes, none of them say that he was Shia. Okay? Secondly, the governors and the leaders of Medina were Marwan and Walid. They were not Shias, according to Ahl Sunnah. The governor of Kufa was Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad. No one has said ever that he was a Shia. Umar ibn Sa'ad was the chief of the army, led by Umar ibn Sa'ad, the army of Yazid. And also again, no one has written that he was a Shia. The murderer himself is Shimr. No one has written that he was a Shia. But can you imagine, so the entire army was led by people who were against Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. So no one has ever said that any of those were Shias. So again, for anyone to say that the people who killed Imam Hussain, highest number of ashab of Imam Hussain Islam were from Kufa. At least 32, some say 38 people came from Kufa to help Imam Hussain Islam. 6,000 people were in Kufa imprisoned who would have supported Imam Hussain Islam if they had a chance. And later on, they all started a movement to support and take revenge for Imam Hussain Islam. Say aloud salawat, everyone. So now we have Imam Hassan Islam who has only his family members left, his own brothers, Imam Hussain, Hazrat Abbas, only very close circle, Muhammad al-Halafiya. These were the closest people to him, his own cousins and family members, his cousins, only they were supporting him. Can you imagine? So he moves back from Kufa, he ruled for 6 months, and he moved back from Kufa to Medina. During these 6 months, when Muawiyah sent a letter to Imam Hassan alayhi salam, he wrote, I accept all of your conditions. Do I have everyone's attention? Sisters, inshallah. Now, Muawiyah signed a blank sheet and said, whatever conditions you write, I accept everything. I accept all of your conditions. Everything that you write. The first condition Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba alayhi salam writes. He says that Muawiyah will stop the cursing and the la'an of my father Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. The conditions tell you under what circumstances did Imam sign the peace treaty. The conditions tell you everything. Not the peace treaty itself, but the conditions. Number one, so Muawiyah will stop the cursing of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Number two, Muawiyah will not appoint any person to be the Khalifa after him, especially not his son Yazid. It is not his right to appoint anyone and it is not his right to rule, but Muawiyah after his death will not appoint his son Yazid. He violated all of those conditions. He continued with the cursing of Imam Ali. He appointed Yazid as his successor. Number three, whatever is in the Baytul Mal of Kufa, Muawiyah cannot take that away. I will keep that. When the people asked him, Maula, why will you keep it? He said, I will distribute it amongst the Shias of Ali ibn Abi Talib because I know Muawiyah will starve them to death. He will starve them to death. He will not give anything to the followers of Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. None of the Shias will get anything from it. So the conditions tell you everything. That under what circumstances Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba alayhi salam. And fourth condition and the final condition, that it is the right of Hassan to rule, and if anything happens to Imam Hassan al-Islam because he knew that he will be poisoned, then it is his brother Hussein who will take over the government. Muawiyah violated all of those conditions and did not follow. But it was Imam Hassan al-Islam who placed those conditions very clearly. Now he came back to Medina, but then he was confronted by his own followers or the Muslims of Medina who did not like the decision that he signed, and they were disrespecting him. People were cursing Imam alayhi salam openly, and they were cursing Imam Hassan alayhi salam. Why did you take such a decision? And many times people would come and say, Assalamu alayka ya mudhill al-muslimin, astaghfirullah bidullah. Salutations be upon you who has humiliated Muslims. But Imam continued living in Medina and continued preaching, continued with all the works. It was Imam Hassan alayhi salam who had laid the foundations of Karbala. Had it not been for the peace treaty, had it not been for Imam Hassan alayhi salam's hard work, pointing out who Muawiyah really is, Karbala would have not happened. Imam Hussain alayhi salam could not even lead the way to Karbala. It is Imam Hassan alayhi salam who laid the foundations of Karbala. In 41 Hijrah, he laid the foundation. 61 Hijrah, 20 years later, Karbala happens. Do I have everyone's attention? I have taken a dry topic. Say aloud salawat. Can you imagine? It was Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam who laid the foundations for both Imam Baqir alayhi salam and Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. You know, both of those Imams only could teach because it was Imam Sajjad alayhi salam who had laid the foundations. وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةِ. So the ta'aleem and the education of the book of Allah and wisdom does not come until the people have gone through tazkiyah. It was fourth Imam alayhi salam who did the tazkiyah of the students of the fifth and the sixth Imam alayhi salam. And it was the fifth and the sixth Imam who taught fiqh. Had it not been for the tazkiyah of the fourth Imam alayhi salam. I'll give a few stories for the younger audience so they don't get bored. I'll come back to this topic of the treaty of Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba alayhi salam. Say aloud salawat for Imam Hassan alayhi salam. The highest number of Hajj any one of the Imams did was Imam Hassan alayhi salam. 22 Hajj. Yes, Hajj he performed walking on foot from Medina to Mecca. Can you imagine? Many people said to him, Maula, you have a camel. Why don't you ride your camel? He said, no, Allah likes the trouble that you take to do Hajj. أفضل الأعمال أحمسها. You know, the most troublesome of the actions are the most rewarding, are the most enduring. So he walked all the way from Medina to Mecca. While he was in Mecca, he was doing tawaf of the Kaaba. All of the Hajis with him, yes, you know, the Hujjaj. They were doing Hajj, and while the Imam alayhi salam is in tawaf of probably Umrah, Tamattu, a poor person comes and he says, is there anyone who can feed me? I'm hungry. Is there anyone who can buy me clothes? I have no clothing. Can anyone buy me some shoes? I have no shoes. All the people are saying, we're doing tawaf, let's wait. Once we finish tawaf, we'll buy you something. Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba alayhi salam leaves the tawaf and says, come with me. I'll buy you some food, I'll buy you some clothes, and I'll buy you some shoes. Paying attention, everyone. Imam buys him food, Imam buys him some clothes, and Imam buys him some shoes. After feeding him, buying him things, he comes back. He wants to start the tawaf, and all of these Hujjaj now attack the Imam. And Ibn Rasulullah, oh, son of the Holy Prophet, why did you leave tawaf? To feed this poor person. Is tawaf not more rewarding? Is there no more tawaf for tawaf? than to go and feed a poor person, to buy clothes for a poor person, to buy shoes for the poor person? He said, have you not heard my grandfather, the Holy Prophet, that whoever feeds one poor person, he gets a sawab of 3 Hajj? Have you not heard my grandfather, the Holy Prophet ﷺ, say that whoever buys new clothes for a person who has no clothes, he gets a sawab of 3 Hajj? A person who buys shoes for a person who has no shoes, gets a sawab. You see, sometimes ibadat is huququllah, and helping the people is huququl ibad. He said, my grandfather said, fulfill the huququl ibad first. He said, this is Hajj of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that was servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah knows that I'll come back and perform Hajj. I'm not leaving it. I'm only helping out a servant and abd of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. By leaving tawaf, I got the thawab of 9 Hajj by helping him for all of those 3 things that no one helped him. Sometimes we are all so self-centered. We always think about ourselves. I, me, myself. Yes? That we forget about everyone else. Imam Hassan al-Islam teaches you a lesson. He says, don't think about I. Think about we, others. That's the lesson. Don't be selfish. Islam is not about selfishness. Islam is all about thinking about other people. Islam does not like selfish people. I want to mention another story that will tell you that you should not be selfish. Nabi Musa alayhi salam, he is walking next to a river. I'm just saying these stories for the children because I know that if I go into deeper things, many of the children get lost. Okay? Nabi Musa is traveling right next to the river, and he sees that right next to the river there is a small garden, and there's a man sitting there repenting, and his flesh on his body is now rotting. He's not well, but he's still repenting. He says to Allah, oh Allah, who is this man? Allah says, Musa, go and ask him. While Hazrat Musa wants to go, there's a bird that comes, brings in a pomegranate, fruits, opens up and feeds that man and leaves. Comes back, feeds, again leaves. Hazrat Musa goes and says, who are you? He said, how did you find me? I'm hiding here, doing tawbah, I'm repenting. He said, Allah guided me to you. He said, who are you? He said, I am Musa. He said, which Musa? Kalimullah, the one who speaks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Yes. He said, I'm repenting here for 35 years. Can you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, has He forgiven me my sins? I'm very sinful. Nabi Musa alayhi salam said, oh Allah, what shall I tell him? Have you forgiven him? Have you not? Allah said, Musa, tell him, I have not forgiven him. He's not been forgiven. So Hazrat Musa says, you've not been forgiven. He says, why has your Lord not forgiven me? Is He not Ghafur Rahim? Is He not forgiving? Why has He not forgiven me? He said, oh Allah, what shall I tell him? He said, tell him that for these 35 years that he's been sitting here repenting, I have been sending this angel that has been coming in the shape of a bird that feeds him for 35 years. Not once has this man asked that bird, have you had anything yourself? Or have you just been feeding me? Not once. He's asked a bird, have you had anything? Shall I feed you? He's so selfish. He's only thinking about himself. Nabi Musa told the man, he said, you are so sinful and you are selfish. That's why Allah hasn't forgiven you. He said, oh Musa, ask your Lord, will He give me anything in return for all of these 35 years of ibadat? Will Allah give me something for this? Nabi Musa said, oh Allah, what shall I tell him? He said, Musa, tell him I will accept one dua. One prayer, I'll grant him. Tell him to ask me something and I'll give it to him. One thing. That man said, Musa, ask your Lord me to make me so big that only I fit in hellfire. No one else can come in. I'm so big, only I go to hell. Nabi Musa alayhi salam said, Allah says, He has now forgiven you. He says, why? Why has He forgiven me now? He didn't forgive me for 35 years. Why now? Does He want to send other people to hell, and because He doesn't want me to be so big so other people cannot fit in? He said, no. Then you were not even thinking about one bird. Now you're thinking about all of my makhluk, all of my creation, all of my makhluqat. Yes? You're thinking about all of my creation. You have now rid yourself from that selfishness. Don't be self-centered. Imam Hassan Mujtaba says, when you sit down on the dinner table, think of others, feed them first, ask them, do you need anything? Don't feed yourself first. This is Imam Hassan Mujtaba. So he basically leaves everything, his khilafah, the government, for the sake of the people, because he knows that they cannot support him, so he doesn't want to go and fight, because his stance is not for himself, but is for the people. But now in Medina, people started disrespecting the Imam alayhi salam. They were not happy. And Muawiyah had propagated so much so against Imam Ali alayhi salam and Imam Hassan alayhi salam. He would distribute animals amongst people. Children get very attached to animals very quickly, so he would distribute sheep amongst people. He would say all of these sheep, and the children will say, where did the sheep come from? He said, oh, this is from Muawiyah, gift. Few days, 3-4 days a week, the children became attached to the sheep. Then he would send some people and said, go and kill all of those sheep. Just kill them and drop them in the same house at night. The children got up in the morning and they said, what happened? He said, oh, last night Ali came from Kufa and he killed all of your animals. So they had hatred for Imam Ali alayhi salam in the hearts. He said everything is fair in love and war. This is what Muawiyah said, and these days you use it quite a lot in English. Everything is fair in war. Imam alayhi salam said, no. There is halal and there is haram. When people came to Imam Ali alayhi salam and said, Ya Ali, Muawiyah is very wise. He said, how did you work that out? He's so wise. He said, he has a new plan against you every day. He said, no, tilka hilatun. Tilka shaitan. That is cunningness. That is satanic thought. Al-aqlu ma'ubida bihir rahman. Waqtusaba bihil janan. Aql is something that takes you to the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You earn the paradise through wisdom, through aql. You don't manipulate people's thinking. You don't manipulate people's feelings and their emotions through wisdom. That is cunningness. Say la salawat alayhi. Can you imagine a very difficult era of Imam Hassan alayhi salam? You've heard this probably story many times, but very quickly I'll say it. That a person came from Damascus, from Damascus. He came to Medina, and he started disrespecting Imam Ali alayhi salam in front of Imam Hassan alayhi salam. He started cursing Imam Ali alayhi salam. By his name, he was cursing him. Imam Hassan alayhi salam said, you look like a stranger. You seem like a gharib person. Gharib meaning someone who's a stranger, someone who's come from abroad. You're not local. If you need a house, then I can give you a house. If you need new clothing, then I can buy you some clothes. If you need any money, then I'll give you some money. The man said, hang on, aren't you Hassan ibn Ali? Are you not Hassan ibn Ali? He said, yes, I am Hassan ibn Ali. He said, well, the people told me you're son of Ali ibn Abi Talib. He said, I am. I'm son of Ali ibn Abi Talib. He said, but I was cursing Ali ibn Abi Talib. Did you not hear me? He said, yes, I heard you. But I am sure you don't know my father. That's why you're disrespecting him. Had you known my father, you would never disrespect him. The man asked, he said, is this your character? He said, no, my father taught me this. My father, Ali ibn Abi Talib, taught me this. The man started crying. He said, will Allah accept my tawbah? Will Allah forgive me? He said, yes, with a condition. When you go back to Damascus, tell the people, Ali is not the way Muawiyah has told you. Ali is the way Hassan Mujtaba has told me. So Imam al-Islam with his character was preaching to the people. Today when you preach to the people, preach with your character. I'm going to be another 20 minutes. I'm not sure how many people are with me. Are you with me? Inshallah. If you are with me, then say salawat. One of the things that Imam alayhi salam has taught, Imam Hassan Mujtaba alayhi salam, on his deathbed, all the children came across to the bed of Imam Hassan Mujtaba. His children, his nephews and nieces and everyone, the children of his brothers and sisters, they all came. And he said, "O my children, you may be children today, but you will not remain children forever. Tomorrow you will be the adults, you will be the leaders of the community. I tell you one thing, whatever I say, memorize it," he said, Imam Hassan al-Islam. Whatever I say, memorize it. If you cannot memorize it, then make notes, write everything down. If you write everything, then tomorrow when you are going to be leaders, you will know how to lead properly. Very beautiful. He says, today, memorize and learn everything from the adults. When tomorrow, and if you cannot, then write everything down. Tomorrow, when you are leaders, you will know how to lead. Why? Because history repeats itself. You will go through similar circumstances that your forefathers went through. If you know history well, you will know how to make those decisions well. Yes, everyone? So learn history quite well so you know how to, when you are in those circumstances. Everyone paying attention to this point. Sometimes we have 3-4 Shias living in the same time, living in the same town, in the same era. One says, "Hang on, I don't like what you're doing, I will do this." Why? He said, "Because I'm following so and so Imam. I'm following Imam Ali alayhi salam." The other one says, "No, I'm following Imam Hassan alayhi salam. You are wrong." The third one says, "No, I'm following Imam Hussain alayhi salam." There is no contradiction in the lives of the Aimma alayhimus salam. You have not diagnosed your era properly. You need to diagnose and work out which era of which Imam belongs to you. That's when you will make the correct decision. Don't just haphazardly make that decision that I belong to my time, this is the time of Imam Ali alayhi salam, this is the time of Imam Hassan. No, you need to judge properly which time am I going through. If you know which time you're going through, then you know which Imam to follow, and this is exactly what the time will be. Yes, everyone, did you all get that? So never ever make a decision in the air and say that I am following one of the Imams. One person says that, okay, I'm going to speak against so-and-so government because Imam Hussain al-Islam did. Oh, I'm going to keep quiet because Imam Hassan went quiet. But hang on, which era are you living in? Are you living the era of Imam Hussain or Imam Hassan? Yes, everyone? So you need to be very good judge of the time you're living in. Can we have two in the same time today? Two different situations in two different places? In the same town? No. But in two different towns? Yes. Iraq may have one situation, New Zealand may have another. Pakistan may have one situation, UK may have another. You all understand that? So you may have different situations based on the political situation, based on the leaders, based on the number of Shias, based on what problems you're going through. So you need to judge which era you are living in. Yes? There are two, very quickly in fiqh. Have you heard of these two Arabic terms, hukm and mawdu? Hukm and mawdu. Okay, I'll describe it. One or two people nodding and the others not saying anything, it tells me that you don't know it. Okay, hukm is the ruling. Do I have everyone's attention? I'm going a bit too technical, please bear with me. Hukm is ruling. How many rulings do we have in fiqh of Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam? How many? 5. I'm pointing out. What are those 5 rulings? In the fiqh of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, not Hanafi or Maliki, Shafi'i, Hanbali, no. In fiqh Ja'fari, we have 5 rulings. Wajib, which is obligatory or mandatory. Haram, forbidden. Mustahab, which is recommended. Makruh, discouraged. And mubah, which is permissible. Do I need to describe them? You all know them. Alhamdulillah. So one is hukm. I have a drink in front of me. Everyone? This drink is the mawdu, the subject. Mawdu is the subject. This is a subject. I need to know the ruling. Is this haram, wajib, makruh, mustahab or mubah? This is mubah. How do you know it's mubah? Well, inshallah. It is. If it is water, like tea or whatever, these are mubah. Everyone paying attention? I need everyone's attention. There are 4 scenarios altogether. How many? 5 or 6? 4. I told you there are 4 scenarios altogether. Then I intentionally wanted to confuse you and said 5 or 6. Okay, there are 4 scenarios possible. Only 4. Okay, pay attention now. Once you know the mawdu, but you don't know the hukm. You know this is tea or this is water or whatever. But you don't know the ruling about tea. You think tea is haram or makruh or mubah or wajib. You don't know. Did you all get that? If you drink it, then it is not a sin. But you should avoid it. Once you know the hukm, but you don't know the mawdu. Yes? I know alcohol is haram, but I didn't know this was alcohol. It's not. But I'm just giving an example. If I drank it because I didn't know the mawdu, I knew the hukm, I said it in Qom, so I knew alcohol is haram. Quran says, innamal khamru wal maisir wal ansab wal azlam rijsun min amali shaitan. Yes, I knew alcohol is haram, but I didn't know this was alcohol. I drank it, still no sin. First, you knew the mawdu, but you didn't know the hukm. Second one, you know the hukm, but you don't know the mawdu. No sin. Did you all get that? Third scenario, you don't know the hukm, you don't know the mawdu. You don't know this is alcohol, you don't know if alcohol is haram. You know probably someone new to Islam. They drink, again no sin. Fourth scenario, you know the hukm and you know the mawdu. You know this is alcohol and you know this is haram. If you drink it now, it will be sin. Look at how Islam is. Allahu Akbar. In 3 places Islam forgives you. Only in the 4th place Allah holds you by the collar and says, why did you do it? Yes? He is so Kareem. You need to know the era you're living in. You need to know the hukum and you need to know the mawdu. Did you all get that? Did I confuse you or did you all get it? You get it? Alhamdulillah. Because you see, if you don't communicate, then I don't know. I like to teach, not just speak. Okay, so now that when a few people speak, then I know everyone, inshallah, else will be also on the same page. There is a 5th possibility, which is not a scenario, possibility. What? In our usul al-fiqh is called tajarri. Tajarri in usul al-fiqh. Syed Baqir Sadr, rahmatullahi alayhi, he talks about it in detail. Everyone paying attention. Tajarri. What is tajarri? I think this is alcohol. I know alcohol is haram. And I try and drink it. Yes? It was wrong. It was a mistake. It was only tea. But I thought this is alcohol, subject. And I know alcohol is haram. And I drink it. This is called tajarri. Is this a sin or not? Does Allah have the right to punish me? Or no? Can we all say yes or no? Yes? How many people say no? Okay, quiet a bit. Okay. Allah has the right to punish me. You know why? Because I tried my best to disobey Him. I failed. I disobeyed Him, to be honest, because I thought this is alcohol and I drank it. So I intentionally disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is called tajarri. Shaheed Baqir Sadr rahmatullahi, he says this is haqqut ta'a. You know, Allah has the right of obedience. I cannot disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In any case, I know, I thought it was alcohol, then I must avoid it. Did you all get it? This is how deep Islam is, tajarri, you know. Now, in this society that you're living in, you don't just judge things on the surface. Go deep into things. You should be the deepest of the thinkers, all men and women, all of my brothers and sisters, all of my children. I request you, Imam Hassan says, if there are 500,000 people living or 100,000 people living in a town, 100,000, and there is one person who says, Ana Shia Shi'i, I am the Shia of, from the Shia of, Ana min Shi'atu Ja'far ibn Muhammad. I'm one of the Shias of Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam. He said, then he should be the best person. If there is anyone better than him, then he has no right to call himself my Shia. Can you imagine? But best in what way? Should I be the most wealthy? Should I be the nicest looking? I have the best clothing, I have the best, biggest house, I have the best car. What should I have? That Imam says, yo, you're the best. I should be in knowledge and in practice, in akhlaq, in manners, in ethics, in practice, I should be the best. That's how we should be. You're all living examples. Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba alayhi salam went through the toughest of the times, but he said, remember, when you go through the difficulties, you need to learn how to deal with those situations, how to live in those situations, and make the right decision, which side you're on. Yes? Unfortunately, many a times the people made the wrong decision about which side they wanted to be on in many countries. Many countries. And many people are still going through those wrong decisions. Even today, even in our age. I'm not talking about New Zealand, I don't know New Zealand. This is my first visit. I'm talking about many other countries, including UK, including Britain, yes? Including Pakistan, including many countries. It is the analysis of our era that has made us make the wrong decisions. Okay, everyone? Always analyze your time. Shia is not a person who is very simplistic and does not understand the situation. We call a person Shia who, after 14 centuries, understands that Ali alayhi salam was on the righteous, Hassan alayhi salam was on the righteous, Hussein in Karbala was on haqq, and Yazid was batil. Yes? Even without seeing, we analyze so clearly. Even though Yazid wasn't present in Karbala, we still say Yazidiyat Murdabad. We say death to Yazid or down with Yazid. Yes, you all understand that? That's how the deep analysis our scholars and our ulama mu'mineen, that's how deeply we must understand. Don't be shallow. Don't be very simplistic. Have deep and sound understanding of situation. Don't just look at hands. Everyone paying attention? Do I have everyone's attention? Who killed Imam Hussain Islam directly? Shimr. We don't just look at the hands. The mind was of Yazid, Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad. Look at Ziyarat Ashura. It mentions each one of them. Allahu Akbar. Look at the Aimma alayhi salam. They don't just say, oh, Shimr killed him. No, it was Yazid behind him. It was Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad behind him. We need to always analyze and study and understand the full situation. Even in this era, in this age, we need to understand. Do I have everyone's attention? Sisters as well, please. Please pay attention to this point. Even in our age here today, we may go through times where people may misguide us by using the name of Aimma alayhimus salam and say, I am the supporter of Imam Hussain Islam, and it takes you to Yazid. It may happen. It has happened many times in the history of Shia. Unfortunately, people use the name of Imam Hussain Islam and they misguide you. Never be misguided by people. We strongly believe in the Holy Prophet and Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. We must not compromise anything about Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. Yes? Be strong in your belief. The best thing you did is not come here. The best thing you did is, after coming here, you saved your iman. I'm not sure if I conveyed that. Yes? Sisters, my sisters and my daughters, my elders, everyone, the best thing you did is not come here, but the best thing you did is, after coming here, you save your iman. If you lost your iman after coming here, that was the worst thing your decision was to come here. You know, the worst decision you made to come here. Yes? Don't lose your iman. Iman is everything. Your faith is everything. It is a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Recently, I was reading through a convert's work. He said, I attended a debate about God. You know, in Urdu speeches, I'm talking about Tawheed these days a lot. So this convert says, I sat down in a debate. Some people were saying there is God. And the others were saying, no, there is no God. He said, I sat down after 4 hours. I said, who won? So they both said, well, we won. So he said, I'm confused. It's not proven to me. Is there God? Does God exist? Does he not exist? It's not clear. He said, well, you make your own decision. This group said, oh, the God does exist. The other one said, no, the God doesn't exist. He said, when I came out of the session, I was confused. But he said, I did not wish to reject God if there was God. So he said, I went to a park, I sat down and I started crying. And I said, God, if you exist, then please show me the way, show me the path. I do not wish to reject you. I do not wish to not believe in you. Just show me the path. He said, I started crying and I started praying. And suddenly I felt that my heart is filled with light. And God showed me the path. You know, he became a monotheist. He started believing in God. Then he started believing in Islam. He became, reading Quran, the Holy Prophet, and Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. He said it was only just one moment, 1 minute, that I sat with God and said, oh Allah, if you exist, please show me the path. You need to have strong connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You need to have strong connection with the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You need to have strong connection with the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. Don't feel, oh, I have no one. Everyone paying attention? We have our Imam alayhi salatu wasalam. We have our Imam. Speak to him, talk to him. Biggest of the scholars say, if you can't do it every day, then at least once a week, just 5 minutes all alone and speak to the Imam. Form your connection. Speak to him. He listens. Sheikh Bahjat, Sheikh Muhammad Taqi Bahjat, one of the Ayatollah Bahjat. Have you heard of him? I took my Imamah from Ayatollah Bahjat. He gave me the Imamah. 1998, Eid al-Qadir. One of the biggest warafa. One of my friends, one of the students in Qom went to Ayatollah Bahjat, recorded him. Said, Agha, does the 12th Imam listen to us when we speak to him? He said, just now when you asked this question, you spoke. Before I hear it, Sahib al-Zaman heard it. And now that I'm answering you, before you hear it, Sahib al-Zaman hears it. Imam al-Zamana, the 12th Imam hears it, then you hear it. He is the listening ear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Believe. Your iman should be strong. Yes? Your connection with the Ahlul Bayt should be strong. With the Imam alayhi salam. With the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. Don't think, oh, he is in ghaib, so he doesn't exist. No, he exists. He is present. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is present. He is not an imagination. Allah exists. 12th Imam exists. Yes? Wa mawjood. Yes, everyone? Have your iman should be strong. Last thing that I want to say to the younger people. I was in Waterloo Church in England doing a session for the Christians, and they were all Christians. I was only one Muslim, one Shia, one Shia speaking to them. They were asking questions, 2-hour session, and many questions. One question came and I had no answer. I could not think of an answer. They were asking, this is 2003 probably, 14 years back. I could not think of an answer. I suddenly said to Bab al-Hawaij, this is not Ali Raza Rizvi's religion. This is Rasulullah, his faith. This imamah does not belong to me. But these people will think their religion is shallow. Please help me answer. And I said words that I was learning from my own words. Then I came across a hadith from 6th Imam alayhi salam and Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam. He said, when you speak in our defense, then you don't speak, we speak from your tongue. We help you. Your iman should be strong. Wallahi, your iman has to be strong on Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. Do not let anyone betray you on your iman. Your iman should be so strong, Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam will help you. When you speak in the defense of religion, in defense of Islam, Deen, they will help. But be strong in your practice. Don't just say things, practice them. Be practical in your life. On the Day of Judgment, the most weighty thing in your book of deeds is your akhlaq. Yesterday I said, many of the religious people, They have everything, they have the best of aqaid, they have the best prayers, salat, som, namaz, roza. They have no akhlaq. So please have good akhlaq. The time is finished. I think I'm getting signs. I should end now. Okay, 2 minutes and inshallah I'll end. I wanted to take full hour, but because this is close to Maghrib, please have the best 5 minutes, inshallah, okay. Have the best akhlaq. Whenever you go, people say, why do you have such a good akhlaq? Imam Hassan says that people will look at you, and when they ask you, who are you? Why do you have such a good akhlaq? You say, I belong to the Ja'fari school of thought. Ahlul Bayt taught me to have such a good akhlaq. You should have the best akhlaq. Respect everyone. The Holy Prophet says, if one of my Muslim followers holds the hand of an elderly kafir, disbeliever, who has white hair, and he says, okay, I'll help this man because he is elderly, Allah will forgive him his sins because he helps an elderly person, even if he was kafir. Please do not ever in your life feel that you can get away without having good akhlaq. Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam had the best akhlaq. The Holy Prophet, even with mushrikeen, had good akhlaq. Look at Imam Hassan Mushtaba alayhi salam. You know his wife, Ju'da binti Ash'ath, la'natullah alayha, she poisoned him. When he said to her that I am now dying, she started crying. The Imam said, why are you crying now? You wanted to kill me? You've succeeded. She said, no, I'm embarrassed. Your brothers now will come, your sisters will come. They will say, who poisoned you? And you will say, Ju'da poisoned me. I will feel embarrassed. Look at how Kareem he is. He says, there is a door at the back. You can just run away, escape from the back door. Even to his murderer, akhlaq of Imam Hassan Mushtaba. He said, you can, but remember one thing. Muawiyah promised you that he will marry you, his son Yazid, he will not. He promised you the wealth, he will give it to you. But none of that will be any use to you. You will get a disease. You will die as a crazy person. You will go crazy because you have now murdered me. And she went crazy. She became crazy and she died of that craziness. All the wealth Muawiyah gave her to kill Imam Hassan, she could not use. Imam Hassan alayhi salam said, even with my murderer, you can leave from the back door. When Imam Hussain alayhi salam came, look at the pain Imam Hussain alayhi salam felt. He started crying loudly. Imam Hassan alayhi salam said, Atabki alayya am abki alayk, la yawmaka yawmaka ya Aba Abdullah. There is no day like yours, O Hussein. I have you, but you will have no one. O Hussein, please don't cry upon me. Everyone is allowed to cry upon me except for you, O Hussein. Imam Hussein still says, no, I want to cry upon you. He says, no, please, because you will have no one. Then he says to Imam Hussein alayhi salam, O Hussein, please remove this dish that has parts of my liver in it. Because when the Imam was vomiting, the parts of his liver were coming out. He said, hide it. Imam Hussain said, why should I hide it? He said, because my sisters Zainab and Kulthum are coming. When they come and see parts of my liver, they will not be able to handle it. My sisters will not be able to bear the pain of seeing the parts of my liver. Imam Hassan, even in that moment when he is dying because of the poison, when he is seeing the bits of his liver come out, even then he thinks about his sisters. He says, no, I don't want my sisters to see the parts of my liver. Even the same thing with Imam Hussain alayhi salam. When Imam Hussain was being killed by Shimr, Janab Zainab Kubra salam alayha said, she said, I could not recognize my brother. He had so much blood on his face. I asked him, Anta akhi, are you my brother Hussein? He looked at me and said, Ya Zainab, irji'i ila al-fustat. Oh Zainab, return to the tents. Just now when Shimr comes and strikes the sword on my neck, you will not be able to bear the pain. Oh Zainab, return to the tents. This is Hassan, this is Hussein, alayhimus salam. They cannot see their sisters going through pain. Maula, please come and see in the plains, in the bazaar of Kufa, where your sisters stand. People have stones in their hands and they're saying, these are sisters of the Bughat. Their brothers were Baghi. ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون. Let's go to Medina just for 2 minutes. You can turn the lights on. Just 2 minutes. Let's quickly raise your hands and let's quickly make dua. Let's go to Al-Baqi. You know, when you go to Najaf, you go to Karbala, you go to Mashhad, Kadhimiya, wherever you go, you see the dharih made of gold and silver. You see so many lights. But when you go to Baqi, you see only broken graves of 4 Imams. Tonight, the 12th Imam will be in Al-Baqi, welcoming everyone for the Shahada and say, yes, I'm here. Come and pay me homage for my grandfather Hassan. Because this is Imam Hassan's daughter, who was the mother of Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam. So he will be here tonight. Imam Sahib al-Zaman will be in Al-Baqi tonight. But when he is in Al-Baqi, he will be looking at all the people. But every Imam has a haram except for the A'immah of Baqi. A'immatul Baqi don't have a grave. But you know what is the most hurting for the 12th Imam alayhi salam? Seeing the grave of his mother, grandmother. Seeing the grave of his grandmother Fatimah al-Zahra that has no light. Today you have all of these lights because of Fatimah al-Zahra salamullahi alayha. But you're not allowed to light any lights. There are no lights on the grave of Fatimah al-Zahra salamullahi alayha. I end here, but I request you, can you imagine all of those broken graves? Can I ask you a question? If someone came and broke the graves of your grandparents, how would you feel? It is Imam Zaman, Sahib Zaman, when he goes to Baqi, sees that his forefathers, all of the graves of his forefathers are now broken. It hurts the 12th Imam alayhi salam so badly. Tonight he will be sitting next to the grave of Imam Hassan Mushtaba alayhi salam. The Imam who had so many arrows in his body after being killed. Allah la'natullahi al qawm al-zalimin. Oh Allah, for the sake of Imam Hassan Mushtaba, give us the ziyarah of Imam Hassan Mushtaba in our lifetime. Oh Allah, give us the shafa'at of Imam Hassan Mushtaba in the hereafter. Oh Allah, there are many problems. We want to see Al-Baqi rebuilt. Oh Allah, hasten in the reappearance of the 12th Imam alayhi salam to rebuild Al-Baqi. Oh Allah, remove all the problems from the surface of the earth. There are many Muslims going through problems. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil faradahum. Parvardigara hum sabki aqabat bakhair farma. Parvardigara sabki duaएं mustajab farma. Parvardigara hazirin ki hajat qabool farma. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil faradahum.